Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. This video is to show you how to make the African sunset temperature scarf. And this scarf is a knitted scarf, so you see this is just a sample that I made for the video tutorial. This is not how the scarf will actually look like, because every second row could be a different color based on the temperatures, but this is just to give you an idea of what the pattern looks like. Now if you look at the temperature scarf pattern, you see cables and you see diamonds along the center, and I'll show you how to make all of these parts for the temperature scarf. So my African sunset temperature scarf. Now what do you need to make this scarf? Now you need a pair of circular needles. Now I've got here 4mm needles, and the yarn that I'm using is Crochet Merino soft yarn in various colors. I'll show you exactly which color in a moment. But so this is the yarn that I'm using, Crochet Merino soft, and you of course also need a pair of knitting needles. I'm using circular needles because I like that to knit. But if you have straight needles, that's of course also perfect. I have a 4mm pair of needles, and this is what a small sample of the scarf looks like, because this will be much longer, of course. So I'll show you how the temperatures and the colors work, and then I'll show you how to knit the various elements that go along with this pattern. Here you see the colors that you need for the African sunset temperature scarf. Now these colors are placed in order, and what I mean by in order is that every color corresponds to a certain temperature range. Now I use a Celsius temperature range. If you're more familiar with Fahrenheit temperature ranges, I have the conversion of the temperature slots in the pattern as well. Now for me, this color here is everything below 0, so freezing, 0 degrees Celsius. This is 0.1 degrees to 5, 5.1 to 10, 10.1 to 15, 15.1 to 20, 20.1 to 25, 25.1 to 30.0 degrees Celsius, and then this one is for everything 30.1 degrees Celsius and above. So this is the hottest temperature, this is the coolest temperature, and then you've got the whole circle in between. I chose these shades because I really feel they match well with the theme, the African sunset. But if you want to have a different theme, you can of course choose a whole different range of colors for yourself. The Merino Soft range by Crochet has a quite nice color range available to you. Now how it works is that depending on what the temperature is of that day, you will choose which color to use. Now I use the maximum temperature from my city where I live. But which temperature you use is up to you. You can use the maximum temperature, then for example you'll use this one. But if you use the minimum temperature of that day, you'll for example use this one. Both are correct. There's no right and wrong here. I just choose to use maximum temperatures. You can also use average temperatures or minimum. You can also choose to make it in a different city where you're living, for example the city where you were born. Or you can choose not this year, but a past year, for example, your year of birth or your children's year of birth. All options that you have, because most weather websites will actually have archives, and you can look up temperatures from the past. And that's also where I find my maximum temperatures, is a weather archive for my cities, that I can just look up what the temperature was yesterday, what the maximum temperature was, because that's the one that I'm interested in. And then depending on what the temperature is, I'll know, okay, I'll use this color, and then tomorrow might be a different color, because then it'll be a different maximum temperature. And then you could be bouncing around between different colors through different days. But of course it can also happen that today is 24.3 and tomorrow is 23.2, and that you're still in the same temperature range, that you don't have to swap between different colors. That can also happen. So really depending on what the temperature is, you'll have a different color for that day. Now, another thing on how the pattern works is that whichever color you use, it'll be both the right side row and the corresponding wrong side row will always be the same color. So if you look at the sample here, if I just look at, so the right side rows, for example this one, and the row that's coming back, so on the wrong side, on the back, when you have the back side facing, will be the same color, and you'll always change colors only when you have the right side facing, never when you have the wrong side. So right and wrong side is always together, and that's always one day. So just keep that in mind when changing color. So your yarn changes should always all be on the same side of the scarf. So that's important. What I'm not going to do is I'm going to show you the different steps involved. So I'm going to show you how to cast on. I'm going to show you how to work different pattern rows and how to cast off. That's what we're going to be doing now. We're going to start by casting on stitches. You're going to need 87 stitches. And I'm going to be using a long tail method to do that, but if you would prefer a different method to cast on stitches, absolutely. This is just a method that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a long tail cast on, so I'm just going to find, yes, the start of the ball, and I'm really going to take a lot of yarn here, and like I said, maybe it is too much, I don't care, but at this point I don't want to have too little yarn, so I've got quite a really long tail here, and I'm going to start working at this point in on the ball to cast on stitches. To cast on stitches, I've got here the place where I'm going to start. This is the ball side. I'm going to just wrap it over my thumb and index finger, and the thumb side, so this is the part that goes to the yarn tail, and my index finger goes to the ball. So that's how these two are related. And then I've got the needle. You just need, I know it just is a circular, but I'm just going to use one of the two at this point. The first stitch is just under and hold on to that needle, so that loop there. That's already your first stitch on there. Now you're going to just roll over, so you keep that loop on your needle, underneath the thumb loop, then come back to the loop that's on your index finger, and bring the thumb loop back and over, and pull that tight. Now I've got 2 stitches on the needle. I'll show that again. The index finger is the side that goes to the ball, and the thumb is the side of the tail that goes to the end. So this is the place where we're going to start. So underneath, just hold on to that loop there, kind of over it, see that it forms that loop, then come underneath the, so from the side, scoop the loop that's on the thumb, and then to the other side and scoop the loop that's on your index finger, and bring it through, see here, you can bring it through, over, and then close. So those were your first 2 stitches. And this you're going to repeat. So I'm scooping them again, and always the index finger side is the ball, and the thumb is the side that goes to your yarn tail. And then scoop the thumb, scoop your index finger, and that's 2. Oh, another one. So now I've got 3. So the first one is actually just really made. It's 1, 2, 3. So you see it's just 3 motions. It's 1, 2, pull tight is 3. 1, 2, and once you get the hang of this, it goes really fast. I'm going to cast on 87 stitches in this way, and you're most likely going to have quite some yarn left on the long tail. Just cut off whatever you have extra to leave like a normal yarn tail, you know, like 20 centimeters or so, because you don't need a meter of a yarn tail. So I'm just going to continue like this and cast on 87 stitches, and that I think I've got about 10 or so now. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 stitches. I've got a few more to go, so I'm just going to continue until I'm at 87 stitches. And if you're wondering which color am I using, this is the color that corresponds to the temperature of January 1st. So that's the color that I'm using to cast on these stitches. So whatever is the temperature just split the yarn, on January 1st, the color that corresponds to that's the color you use. So continue and cast on 87 stitches on the one needle. Row 1 of the pattern. Now I have these 87 stitches on my needle here, and at this point it's important to keep track of which side is the short side and which side of the yarn tail goes to the ball. So this here is the ball side, because if you start knitting with the wrong side, and you will not be the first person to do so, you're going to run out of yarn very quickly. Now if I just get things a little bit organized here. Now the first row, and this is your first pattern row, so row 1 and the corresponding backward row, row 2, this is a base row that you're going to be repeating quite a few times. You're going to start by knitting 6 stitches. Just get into that first stitch there. There we go. Knit. See, I've just split the yarn. I thought I wasn't in there nicely. Here, so knit the first stitch. It's 1, and this is 2, I'm splitting my yarn here, 2, and this is 3, just because it's also still so small, and this is 4, 5, and 6. So let's knit 6 stitches, bring the yarn forward. I'm going to purl 6 stitches. And I realize I purl in a funny way, but this is the only way I know how to purl. 2, because I know many people, because I am at the end of the day a crocheter, and learning to knit is then, means you have funny crochet habits. I sometimes see knitters who crochet have funny crochet habits. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so yeah, one more, purl 6 stitches. Now this first row I'm just going to take slow, show you every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, 6 purls, and then flip the yarn to the back again and knit 6 stitches. Going to repeat this, knit 6, purl 6, going to do that 3 times. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring the yarn forward again and purl 6. 1, 2, 2, come again, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and now the last time, so knit 6 and purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then purl 6 again. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So this was knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6. And the first knit is just going to be the edge, and then the second knit and the third knit stitches, that's going to become your cable section. Now we're in the middle of the shawl, of scarf, and knit 15 stitches. So that's 1. This is going to be your diamond part. 2, 3, 5, come on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 15 knit stitches. Now we're going to repeat on the second half what we did on the first part, but in reverse order. So purl 6, knit 6 till the end. So this is purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then knit 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then purl 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then knit 6 again. It to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the last repeat, purl 6, knit 6, and then you've done this 3 times again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last one again, knit 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and these last 2 stitches, 5, and there we go, 6. So that was the first row, and it's really small, and this was a right side row. So if you want to keep track with wrong or right side, mark this side of your work. This was the right side. You're going to turn your work, of course, and then we'll work the reverse row 2. Row 2 is a wrong side row, and you're always going to be working the same stitches for row 2, and row 2 is going to be in pattern. That means you're going to, if you have a purl stitch, you purl; if you have a knit stitch, you knit. It's in essence it's the reverse of what we just did in row 1. And row 2 is always going to be the same for each and every wrong side row that you're going to knit in this scarf. But I'm going to show you just the entire row. I'm going to start by just purling the first 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's purl 6, and now I've got 6 knit stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 6 purl stitches again, and my work is just the fact that it's not longer that very first cast on row. Already my work is just a bit easier to knit because those cast on stitches are just different. They feel different than these ones that I'm making now. And then knit 6 again. 1, 2. And the color that you're using for this row is the same as on the right side. So you'll always use the same color on row 2. Repeat as you did on the row before. So you're never going to change colors when you have the wrong side facing, only when you have the right side facing. So I'm knitting 6, and oh sorry, I was purling 6, and then this is knit 6, and then we're going to have the center section. That'll be purl 15, because you had 15 knit stitches in row 1. You now have 15 purl stitches. You see here the 15 purl stitches in the middle. So that's 1, 2. The nice thing is you can now really see, if you see the purl bumps, you'll say, oh, I need to purl. And if you to knit, oh, I need to knit. And as the scarf gets larger, these you're in essence making like stripes, bands along the length of the scarf, and then you'll see, oh, this is the middle row. That's the 15 stitches, and it'll become easier to see. But if it does help you, you could add stitch markers. You know, where the 15 stitches are, where the knits and the purls, you know, where the transitions are. If that is easier for you, then do add those stitch markers on your needle. And that was it. And then knit 6 again. And I'm going to show you this entire row, but it is very much a repetition. It's knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, or the other way around, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, until you're to the end, and in the middle it's just 15 purls instead of the knitting. And don't worry if you're like me, if you're a crocheter and you hold your yarn in a funny way, and you know, it's as long as it works, what I think. And that's also the reason why I knit continental, because that really feels just more natural to me, because I have the yarn then in the same hand as where I have it when I crochet. But if you're of course used to English, you'll have your yarn on your right hand as opposed to the left, like I have. And the last 2 stitches. And then purl 6 more, and then you're at the end of row 2. And if needed, if you're row 3 will correspond to January 2nd. I'll talk about that in a moment. There you go. So this is row 2, repeat, and you'll always do the same row when you have the wrong side facing. Now turn your work again for row 3. Row 3, I'm going to start row 3 now. I have the first, so what I've now knit. Everything I've now knit was January 1st. Row 3, going to use the color that corresponds to January 2nd. Now, if it's the same color, because the temperature hasn't changed much, you just continue with the same color. If you need to change colors, the first stitch you'll knit in a new color. But row 3 is actually the same as row 1. So row 1 and 2, you're going to repeat that for January 2nd as well. And the same goes for row 5. So row 3, I'm just going to make a jump in the video, but row 3 and 5, so that every time you have the right side facing, you're going to be knitting the same stitches you knit in row 1 and 2. So knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 15, and then come back the other way. That you're going to be repeating for row 3. So you're going to knit in pattern row 3 and row 5. And if you need to change color, so check your temperature for January 3rd, because that's for row 5, and January 2nd for row 3. I'm going to work rows 7 to 30. That's the pattern repeat, and that's this section here. As you can see here, these rows here, we have the cable and then another cable row, but also with a diamond incorporated into it. So these 30, not so much 30 rows, because rows 7 to 30, but these rows, that's the pattern repeat that you're going to be doing until the end, and at the end there'll be a few more rows with without the diamond, so a few of these rows. I'm going to not be changing colors, but that's just for ease of the video. But when you do need to change colors, just do so accordingly. So keep checking your color placement and the color chart for that. I'm going to start with row 7, which is the first row of the pattern repeat. Row 7. Again, we start with knit 6 as always. We're going to start with knit 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knit 6, bring the yarn to the front, and again purl 6. So this is the same. This is always going to be the same. So purl 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There you go. So that's the base. That's always the same. Now we're going to start with the first cable, and so for that you need the cable needle. Now we're going to slip 3 stitches onto the cable needle, and you do this purl-wise. So that's 1, 2, 3. So 3 stitches on the cable needle, and then I'm just going to bring them like to the dent in the cable needle. I'm just going to let them go to the back, and this is always just a little bit fiddly, so let them hang to the back of your work and yarn to the back as well. Now we're going to knit the next 3 stitches, and these 3 are usually still reasonably easy. It's the cable needle then that you need to twist. But there's 1, so knit 1, 2, 3. So knit 3 stitches, and now make sure not to drop anything off your needle. So if needed, just push your stitches a bit back while you go about grabbing this the cable needle from the back. Then just slip the stitches through on the cable needle up to a point that you can actually knit them. And grab your yarn, and now knit these 3 stitches that's on the cable needle. So that's 1, 2, and the last one, 3. There you go. Now I can put the cable needle away again. And now we're going to purl, so switch everything, so purl the next 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, 5, and 6. So purled 6 stitches. Now we're going to do exactly the same. So another cable, a right leaning cable. So again, cable needle, slip 6 stitches, 3 of the 6 stitches on the needle purl-wise. So that's 1, 2, 3. Pop these to the back. So, and bring your yarn, of course, that you can knit that. There you go. And then knit the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then knitting the next 3 stitches on the cable needle. So again, so we've put them up here, and now we're just going to slip the needle through. We can just knit those stitches. Where are they? There's the first one. That's 1, 2, and there we go, 3. Again, coming back to the main work, and I need a bit more yarn, there we go. We're going to purl the next 6 stitches, so again bring the yarn forward to the front of your work, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The next 15 stitches is going to knit the next 15 stitches, so that's going to be the center part, which later on will become the diamond, but for now it's just knit 15 stitches. And this is actually very relaxing, few stitches, because knitting is usually, for me at least, knit stitches are easier than purl stitches. Somehow I always feel like I'm fumbling with the purl stitches. And a few more. And the last one, 15 knit stitches. Now the second half of the pattern, again, is purl stitches, so bring the yarn to the front, and we purl 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Now we're going to make a left leaning cable. So again, I'm going to slip 3 stitches on the cable needle, but this time we're going to bring it forward, keeping those 3 stitches on the front of our work. So that's 1, 2, 3 stitches slip purlwise, put them on the needle and keep it to this needle to the front of your work, and now knit the next 3 stitches, and this really feels a little fumbly. So you can kind of, you've got the cable needle there, and just yeah, it should be okay. To knit the next 3 stitches. I'm gonna just pull this needle out that nothing happens to it, then bring everything forward that you can knit the 3 stitches. So it was like, so I just push this forward and then knit the next 3 stitches on the cable needle. So that's 1, 2, and I'm really holding on to these stitches so that they don't slip off the needle, because there really is some tension on these stitches right now. And now come back to the main needle and purl the next 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again repeat, so again the cable here in the same way, so slip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 stitches, slip, hold them to the front, so it's exactly the same as the cable we made just a few minutes ago. Knit the next 3 stitches. Like I said, and this cable needle can be just a little bit in the way, it feels a little fumbly. So it's 1, 2, 3 stitches knit. Just going to pull that back needle just a little bit out so that nothing happens, because I don't want these stitches to drop off in any way. And then there you go. And knit the 3 stitches on the cable needle. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Coming back to the main needle, purl the next 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the last 6 stitches are knit these 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There you go. So that repeats, that's row 7. And now of course we're going to come back in the wrong side row. I'll just show you one wrong side row again. I'm going to show you now row 8, but this is of course the same for every wrong side row. So row 8, 10, 12, every wrong side row. I'm going to start by purling the first stitches, so bring the yarn forward, insert your needle as if to purl, because we are going to purl, and that first stitch is always a bit fiddly, at least to my experience. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So purl 6 stitches, then bring the yarn to the back and knit 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring the yarn to the front again. I'm going to purl 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and now you're purling into the cable from the previous row. In this case, those stitches are a little bit more tight than if you did not have a cable in the previous row. Knit 6 stitches again. That's 1, 2, 3. Move everything a bit forward. 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring the yarn forward to purl. So 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 6, and then knit 6 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in the center section, purl 15 stitches. So bring yarn to the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and one more, 15. There you go. And now knit 6. 1, 2. I just need a bit more yarn. 2. Of course, first insert 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then purl 6. So this is knit and purl 6 until the end. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I believe those were 6 purls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Then knit 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last little repeat, knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There you go. So this was the wrong side row. It's got here the back of the work facing, and you do this every time you get to the wrong side. You will do exactly this again. This is the last time that I've shown you, so from now on I'll only show you the right side rows. So the wrong side rows always like this. Row 9, right side facing, and we again start with knit 6, purl 6, do that 3 times. Just going to get into that first stitch. So it's knit 6 is 1, there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then come to the front with the yarn and purl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the last time that I'll show you these first few stitches, because they're often going to be the same. Then I'll just jump to the middle part where the diamond is, unless of course there's we'll be doing cables, then I will show you these. But so this is the last time that I'll show you this, and that's just to make it easier for you, that you don't have to watch me knitting and purling stitches where you think, okay, I know how to do that. I just want to see the bits that I need a bit of help with. So this will be the last time I show you these first repeats of knit 6, purl 6 3 times, and then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then here's the last one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. So now we're in the middle part where we're going to do the diamonds. We're going to start by knit 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So knit 5. Now knit 2 together. So through 2 stitches together, knitwise. So through 2, knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, so I'm just going to scoop the yarn and hold on to it with my finger, and then knit 1. Yarn over again, so I'm just going to scoop the yarn and hold on to that. Now an SSK, that means we're going to slip 2 stitches and then knit them together. So I'm going to slip it knitwise. So that's 1, and still hold on to that yarn over, that you don't lose that. 2, and then with the right needle come back through those 2 stitches so that I can knit them together. And now the last 5 stitches knit again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this section to the end is again the same as before. So we're going to purl 6. I'll just, again, this will be the last time that I show you these purl 6, knit 6. And from now on I'll just show you the middle sections. And unless of course there is a cable happening in these first ones, I will show you the cables, because they I just really enjoy doing cables. They give so much texture to your work. So I'll just show you those cables just to help you with that again. For now I'm just knitting the knits and purling the purls. So just knitting in pattern. And then of course the wrong side row will be the same as before, so I won't show you the wrong side row again. And by the time you've done your first few complete sections, we have on this sample that I'm knitting here, I've already done a few repeats, and you can really see the scarf taking shape. And the last 6 stitches I knit. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And now I'm just going to come back, work the wrong side row, and then I'll see you for row 11. Row 11, I've just done that first part again, so knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6. And now I'm at the middle section again, so I'm going to start the diamond part again. Oh, there comes the focus back of the camera. So I'm going to start by, if I just get everything into position, I'm going to knit 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's knit 4 stitches. And the next 2 stitches I'm going to knit together. So into both stitches, knit together. Then yarn over, hold on to that, and knit the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, again hold on to that, and going to slip SSK. So I'm going to slip this stitch, slip the next stitch, come through both stitches, and knit them together. There you go. And the last 4 stitches here knit. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. The last part again, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6, purl 6, knit 6. So this section is again the same. Then turn your work and do your wrong side row, and then I'll see you again on row 13. Row 13. Again, I've done the first purl and knit repeat, and now I'm at the 15 stitches in the middle. Going to just get myself into position here to knit the first stitches. I'm going to knit 3 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3. Now I knit 2 together, so again these 2 stitches, the next 2 stitches, just grab them together as a knit. There we go. Yarn over, so just scoop the loop and knit 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches. There we go. Then again yarn over, so scoop, and then an SSK, so slip 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch, both of them knitwise, through the back, knit those 2 together, and then the last 3 stitches we knit. 1, 2, and 3. So those are the stitches here in the middle again, and now repeat the purl 6, knit 6, purl, knit until the end, and work the backward row also. Row 15. Row 15, I'm actually going to be showing you the first stitches as well, because we'll be going, we're going to be cabling again. This is a cable row, so you're going to be undoing cables, and you're going to be working in the diamonds on this row. And I happen to be using a new color here, but that's simply because I came to the end of a ball in the previous row, so that's the only reason why I'm changing colors. I'm just going to do this in the most simple way possible. So I'm just literally going to just attach a new color and then knit with that, because I know there are all kind of fancy ways to join yarn. But for the moment I'm just going to attach it and continue knitting. Now the first 6 stitches are 6 knit stitches. And I just pull both of these yarn tails just to secure those loops. There you go. So 6 knit stitches, and then again 6 purl stitches, and then we do the cables. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go 6. And remember, every time you do change colors in this pattern, it will always be on the right side. The right side row and its return row is always in the same color, and so changing colors will always be with the right side facing. Going to slip the next 3 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle and pop that needle to the back. Then bring everything around. There you go. And knit the next 3 stitches on your work. 1, 2, and 3. And then flipping everything back to get, where is it, to the cable needle. That's here on the back. Knit the 3 stitches that are on the cable needle. 2 and 3. There we go. Then purl, so bring the yarn forward, purl the next 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now again a cable needle, slip 3 stitches purlwise on the cable needle and pop that needle to the back. Bring everything around. There you go. And knit the next 3 stitches on your work. 1, 2, and 3. And then knit the next 3 stitches. There we go. On your work. That's 1, 2, and 3. Purl the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There you go. So now we've done the first part, so we've done the cables, and now we're here at the middle and we're going to work the diamonds again. For the middle section, I'm going to start by knitting 2 stitches. That's 1, 2, knit. The next 2 stitches we're going to knit together. So knit 2 together, so through both stitches, knit that together. Yarn over, scooping the loop, hold on to it and knit 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over and SSK, so slip 2 stitches knitwise. That's 1, 2, and then knit that through the back. Knit those 2 together, and then the last 2 stitches we knit again. So that's the middle part, and then here we're going to work cables again. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cables, oh sorry, 6 purls, so not 6 cables. Now we slip 3 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle, knitting the 3 stitches to the next 3 stitches that are on your needle, and that cable needle kind of goes everywhere, but don't worry about it for the moment. Then pick it back up, move those stitches forward, and then knit the next 3 stitches on the cable needle. So 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Then purl the next 6 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last cable again, slip 3 stitches purlwise on the needle, on the cable needle, knit the next 3 stitches on your needle, 2, 3, knit the 3 stitches that are on the cable needle, 1, 2, this third one always opens up a bit for me because there's just so much tension on it. There you go. And then purl 6 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last 6 stitches, knit those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one, 6. There you go. That was row 15. Come back for the return row, and then I'll see you on row 17, again in the middle part. Row 17, I've again already knit and purled the first 3 times 6 stitches, and I'm in the center 15. I'm going to start by knitting 3 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3. So knit 3 stitches. Then I'm going to yarn over, and now it's an SSK. So slip, slip, and knit the 2 together through the back. Knit 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Knit 5 stitches. The next 2 stitches we're going to knit 2 together. So knit those 2 together as though they're 1 stitch. Yarn over and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the first stretch, and on the next stitches to the end again, purl 6, knit 6. That repeats until you're to the end. Row 19, again purled and knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, 6 stitches, and I'm at the center 15 where the diamond is. Now I'm going to start by knitting 4 stitches this time. So knit 4. So that's 1. You might get my work a bit better in front of the cameras. 1, 2, 3. Knit 4 stitches. Then yarn over. SSK, so it's slip, knit 1, slip, another 1 knitwise, and then knit the 2 through the back. Knitting 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 stitches, knit 2 together, 2 stitches, there you go, knit the 2 together, yarn over, so, and then hold on to that loop, and then knit 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Now, those were the center 15, and then this is again purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, every time 6 stitches, and then of course also the return row. Row 21, we've again done the knits and purls, and I'm at the center diamond. I'm going to start by knitting 5 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So knit 5 stitches. The next 2 stitches going to SSK. So slip. Sorry, first we yarn over. I think I was missing something here. So knit 5 stitches, yarn over, and then it's the SSK. So slip, slip, and then knit those 2 together. Knit only the 1 stitch, and the next 2 stitches going to knit those 2 together. Oh wait, I just split the yarn. There you go. Yarn over, and then knit the last 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was the center bit again. Now knit and purl in pattern to the end, and then work your return row as well. Row 23, and what I've just done is I've knit 6, I've purled 6. Here I've done a cable with the cable needle and a needle to the back, purl 6, and another cable with the needle to the back, and purl 6. So this bit here is the same as there and the same as there. So we've done this before, so that's why I haven't shown this in the video. So 2 cables with the needle to the back. Then the diamond, the 15 stitches in the middle. I'm going to start by knitting 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So knit 6 stitches. Yarn over. Going to slip 1 stitch and hold on to that yarn over that you don't lose it. With my finger on the needle. The next 2 stitches going to knit together. So I'm going to knit those 2 stitches together. And now come back, and this stitch that we slipped, so that 1 stitch, that stitch, so it's going to pass that over the first stitch on the needle. So come back, hold on to this and pass it over. There you go. Now yarn over again, hold on to that loop, and then knit 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again, purl 6. Here work a cable. We're going to work a cable with the needle to the front, purl 6, and a cable with the needle to the front, purl 6, knit 6. So the second half is again the cable round with the needles to the front, and then come back on your return pass and knit in pattern. Rows 25 to 30, those are actually your base pattern rows. So that's just knitting the knits and purling the purls, both the right side and the wrong side. So you're in front above the diamond, you've just these just knit stitches, and here you've got the purls and the knits and the purls. Just so these are 6 rows of knitting in pattern. And of course every second row is a new day. So keep track of your days. So it doesn't have to be all just one color. It can be that every second row is a new color depending on what the temperature does in that week. But so row 25 to 30 is knitting your knits and purling your purls. I'd like to show you how to cast off. Of course I'm not finished here because this isn't exactly the full scarf, but I'm just going to show you how to cast off, and this is a cast off method that I'm going to show you, and this is maybe the most simple one there is. If you want to use a different cast off method, you're more than welcome to. To cast off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cast off in pattern. So when it's a knit stitch, I'm going to do the cast off in a knit way, and when it's a purl, I'm going to do it in a purl way. So the first 6 stitches I'm going to be casting off as a knit. So I'm going to knit the first stitch, knit the second stitch, and then pass that first stitch, just grab it properly, over second stitch. And this first one I always find a little tricky. There we go, because there just isn't much to hold on here. Then knit the next stitch and pass that stitch over, and again knit, and the cast off you do in the same color as you used for the very last pattern row. So it's the same color as you used for December 31st in essence. And I've got one more knit stitch, and now these next 6 stitches are purls, so I'm just going to bring the yarn forward. I'm going to purl the next stitch, and I'm going to bring that loop over, again purl the next stitch, and this is how you're going to continue to the end. So this is one stitch at a time, casting them off, and just grab that loop and I'm always just a little fiddly with casting off. Somehow it's not something that I find incredibly easy. But then again, I'm not really an experienced knitter either. I just do my best. And we cast, and this one goes. So you see, especially the pearls somehow seem to be a little. My fingers are a little dumb. So casting off the knit, casting off the pearls. So cast off in pattern. If it's a knit stitch, you cast off in a knit way, and if it's a purl stitch, you cast off in the purl, because that way you don't break the pattern. So I've got one more purl stitch to go, but continue like this until you're to the end, and then you're all finished. And then the last part will be, of course, to just block your shawl.